Tudor Corner is a Legos Group new modeler for 2025 and promises to be one of the best, if not the best yet in this theme. As the name suggests, it is inspired by the English architectural style of late medieval times, which was well used by the designer to create a connection with an iconic Lego set. I'll get to that later. It contains 3,266 elements and a retail price of €240 or dollar, equivalent to 7 sets per element, and it will be on sale starting from January 1st. It is the 20th set of the model building series, started in 2007 and including Market Street, and it was designed by François Zapf, with the graphics given to Ashwin Visser. I confess that I didn't know François, and the truth is that this is his only second set to be announced, the first being one of the Black Friday gift purchases. As Palpatine said, I will watch your career with great interest. Regarding the minifigures, we have 7 plus 1, being the letter used as a mannequin and therefore it has no expression on its face. In addition to this, we have a chef, the restaurant owner, a clockmaker, one of the customers, the cat tenant, the haberdashery owner, and the chimney cleaner. Perhaps one or two more exclusive elements will be cool, although I was surprised by the chimney cleaner legs, which until now were exclusive to Star Wars. This one and the tailor are the only ones without double side heads. It's a corner modular with a restaurant on the ground floor, although it looks like a pub, and a haberdashery. The meaning of this may differ from country to country, since in the United States it's more like tailors and men's clothes, and in the UK it's more buttons and thread suppliers. Perhaps that's why the store has products with a mix of both. It's true that the jazz club already had a tailor, but it makes much more sense to have one in this set. Think on the Kingsman movie, for example. Inside the store we find a very beautiful pattern on the floor, a mannequin and several hats and fabrics. In fact, it seems that this is where the jazz club tailor comes to buy its supplies. Returning to the the restaurant, we have a mini kitchen and a wooden linen counter, with several glasses, mugs, bottles, and 2 lamps. A tray with a typical English breakfast with eggs, bacon, and bread sits on the counter. This one has 3 stools, and there's even room for a table by the window. On the left side there is also a bathroom, accessible through a door and located under the outside stairs that lead to the first floor. Part of this can be removed for easier access, especially in case someone gets stuck or the toilet gets clogged. Outside, a special note for the coat of arms on the sidewalk and a beautiful facade of the restaurant. There are some beautiful printed pieces like the one that gives its name, the Old Guarded Inn, a reference to the iconic Guarded Inn set from 1086, later re-released as number 10,000, and featuring 2 goat heads, a reference to the Lego goat element and its rarity, which recently reappeared again. In the middle, 2 more printed tiles with a funny detail. The restaurant was originally supposed to be fish and chips, hence the fish on the menu, but was later changed. So they decided to include a rotten fish which was placed in the trash at the back. Maybe for this reason, one of the customers is not very satisfied, but I'm sure the kitten loved it. Also noteworthy are the several floral elements supposedly purchased at the Assembly Square flower shop, and the use of R2-D2 legs to support them. The geometry of the facade allows the placement of a balcony with another Star Wars element serving as a frame, droid legs. Moving to the first floor, we have a clockmaker's workshop. There are many kinds of clocks found here, and my favorite being the grandfather clock and the cuckoo clock. There's a table with gear parts and a magnifying glass to be able to see precisely the assembly of these devices. In fact, this is supposedly where the town hall clock was made. There's also a fireplace, a rug, and stairs with a compartment where a spectacular vintage vacuum cleaner is stored. This last one was bought surely because of the furry friends living above. But first, let's talk about the resident, Carrot, who is neurodivergent and wears noise-reducing headphones. She's wearing a sunflower lanyard, but here, in her own apartment, the lanyard sits at the front door next to the keys and mail, ready to use when she leaves the apartment. There is also a sofa, a sink, some plants, the litter box, a cat scratching post, and an aquarium with 2 insects, and for this reason she'll never go to the bookshop apartment, where there's a chameleon. And where this book? At the pet shop? I'm not sure if you'll ever know. On this floor, there's some of the set's best building details. First, what everyone wants to know. How was that oblique effect done? According to the designer, this floor was actually where he started building the set. Regarding that specific technique, and in addition to a lot of snot, Truth is that the piece is not attached, but kind of fitted at the back. As the wall thickness is 2 studs, it is possible to place a 2x2 modified plate in the middle of the slopes, with a tile with grill trapping it in the space behind. I also highlight the slot windows above the door, the brilliantly fitted balcony, and of course, the dark red roofs. These are securely attached, and in fact the whole set is very secure, very sturdy, perhaps with the exception of some plants and pots found on the walls. Finally, we need to talk about the bicycle cart owned by the tenant living on the second floor, which she even uses to take them to the corner garage vet, and of course, the last section, with one of the chimneys that isn't even working anymore. In the room below, there are several bars on the wall that serve as stairs, which will give access to the trapdoor at the top, and through which the chimney sweeper can access to carry out his work. Oh, and another Easter egg. According to the instructions, the bollards are the old cannonball recovered from a battle of the iconic Caribbean Clipper. We finished the set with the last details with the stools and table outside, the lamp, and the large clock placed in the corner with 2 new 3x3 tiles printed, and which is the only clock of this set that has a different time compared to all the other ones. It seems that it's running late, and the watchmaker will have to take a look after lunch. Final score 9.5 in 10. For me, this is one of the best models of all time, along with Brick Bank and Parisian Restaurant, for example. Maybe you might think that it's a completely different style of construction to what has been done so far, and it's true, but there are some modular sets that look good next to it. The box suggests a museum and a jazz club, and I think the first one looks really good, but the second not so much. But I tried it with the other sets, and even with some of my old mocks, there are a few that actually look good. In the next few days, I'll put up the speed build of this and the gift with purchase set, the Corner Kiosk, a more detailed newspaper stand than the one that appears in the police station, and which includes 2 figures, a stand with newspapers and postcards, a gun machine, and the kiosk itself. It has 205 elements and a sheet with 6 stickers to add different postcards and newspapers. If you didn't have enough incentives to buy the new modular, this could be the extra push you need, since unlike what happened in other years, this offer will be exclusive to everyone who buys the Tudor Corner. So, what is your opinion on the set? And what's your favorite modular? Thank you Lego and the Land for sending the set for review. Opinions on it are my own. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss more content regarding this set, more things about modulars, and some of the 2025 novelties. And most importantly, play well.